This is Mushin, one of the densely populated areas in the city of Lagos. Mushin is predominantly occupied by the poor in the society, and it's characterized by a large presence of street urchins called area boys, loud music, children playing in the streets, while some are hawking simple wares to make money for their family. Most families in Mushin have a one-day economic circle where they survive today with the money made yesterday and need to do same today so there will be food on their tables the next day. This was true of the Osifo family. Dr. Samson Osifo and his siblings were raised in Mushin. Their father, Mr. Ezekiel Osifo, was a retired civil servant, and their mom, Margaret Osifo, was a petty trader who sold whatever crop was in season to support the family financially. They lived at number 40 Oduduwa Street in Mushin. This was a life for Dr. Samson Osifo in his formative years. It was a tough life where you learn early that if you must achieve anything, you have to depend on yourself and nobody else. It was a daily struggle to survive and definitely not the life he wanted for himself and his family.
Actually, I was born into the Osifo family, and my father's name happened to be Ezekiel Osifo. I was born in Mushin, and Mushin life to me is not rough, but it's just going to prepare you for the future. A lot of people, you mix with a lot of people that are not your tribe, and that gives you an understanding to also learn other cultures and value. And for me, that has made me more stronger and more futuristic in nature, because of the fact that you see a lot of things. There are some that will make you cry, there are some that will prepare you for the future. And that is my understanding about when I was growing up in Mushin. We are 6 in number, 3 boys and 3 girls. We stay in one-room apartment. When I was growing up, my father was a civil servant, and in 1983 they asked them to go retire them compulsorily. So he came home without nothing. So I have that understanding that you need to struggle yourself to earn money yourself. So where we live is 6 up, 6 down. So, and we use 1 toilet and 1 bedroom with 1 kitchen. That's what everybody uses. So in the morning when you wake, you must wake up more earlier so that you can go to the toilet. So if you don't wake up more early to go to the toilet, it means you won't go to school that day. That's what it implies. Now, aside from that, you find out that it makes you to wake up more earlier, so that at the end of the day, you can do things very early in life. You know that you need to be disciplined and wake up. And aside from that, life in Mushin is all about struggling. And when my father lost the job at that time, when he lost his job, we need to now hawk before we eat. So during my primary school days, I have to hawk in the morning. So when I came back from school, I have to also hawk in the afternoon. So it's not only me, it's our siblings. We hawk before we eat at that time. And we all decided to take it as our responsibility that we also need to support the family. So we don't even body care about what people say about that time. So we do that for like all my life when I was growing. Even when I was in my class 5, I also hawked too, so that the family can survive. And that is what we decided to do at that time. So to God be the glory, every of us, my siblings are now graduates. But it takes 2 to tango. All those times were a lesson for us. And aside from that, something happened to me when I want to write my WAEC, my SSC. At that time, my sister had gotten a scholarship. My elder sister had gotten a scholarship to study pharmacy in Greece, and I was expecting him to send money so that I can write my SSCE. So unfortunately, I was the senior prefect of my school, and my principal loved the woman, and he came to meet me. That's unfortunately that I'm not going to be writing WAEC that year. So I have to go and meet a man. His name is Miku Koi. He's like a politician in the street. And I said, we have about 29 Toyota Hilux buses. And I said, I want to wash them that night so that I can pay the school fees. I can pay the WAEC school fees. So I washed 14 over the night. Before I started on Saturday, so by Sunday I've washed 27. So he gave me the money, so I used it to pay for my WAEC at that time. So when my sister now gave me the money, I use the money for something else, so that I can write the WAEC at that time. So life is Mushin is full of challenges, just like what I told you now. I did that as the concept of my family, so that I can write the WAEC. So it's preparing you for the future. And that's why I always try to tell people today, no matter how rich you are, let your son and daughter face one or two things. Because without that, they won't defend the future. They'll be so lazy, and they want you to help them in every area of their life. So, and you also need to notice that we are not here permanently. So if anything happens to you, what will become of your sons and daughters that you have pampered? So Mushin Life have really prepared me for the future. And that history I've just told you about washing cars have told me that I should not depend on anybody. I shouldn't depend on myself and God. You see, I've once told people that hunger drives the best out of you. When you know that you don't have any hope anywhere, you look at back, nobody is going to support you. Anybody you meet and tell your story about them, they will make jest of you. So you need to be prepared and face the future yourself. And that is what I tried doing. Sincerely, my father is a very sincere person. He will tell you the truth that I love to help, but life have not favored me in this regard. So you need to also put your effort to what you do. So in that regard, we all decided to take life as it comes and begin to put more effort to life at that time. And today, the rest is history.
Dr. Samson Osifo was sure this life was not for him, and his way out was to add value to himself and learn as much as he could in his chosen field of accountancy, which he went into because it was the in thing at the time and a sure way of getting a good job. However, he felt that was not enough to take him to where he wanted to be, so he went for a master's degree and found out that he was correct all the while. He discovered the difference between quantitative and qualitative reasoning and started applying it professionally.
I got admission to study accounting at University of Lagos. And at that time, I was not doing anything, I was just reading. So I realized that if I don't start doing something, I won't go to school. So I went to meet my dad with that admission letter, and he told me that I'm just coming to meet just of him because he doesn't have money to send me to school at that time. So what I did was that I started teaching people GCE, JAM. So I started lecturing people for that. Then from there, I now save money. Now I went to University of Lagos to study accounting. And the reason why I decided to study accounting at that time was because of the fact that in our domain, in Mushin, what was reigning was accounting. So, and I followed the footsteps of people that were also studying it at that time. So actually, my elder brother studied accounting from the University of Benin. So, and it was raining, everybody was studying it. So I decided to fall in love with accounting. Then, but at that time, the challenges I had then was that my father told me that I wasn't having any money, which I knew as well. So for that year, I forfeited admission, and I started teaching people GCE and JAM. So I decided to go to school. Before that, I decided to also hang out with some guys. I did conductor for like 2 weeks. I went to Abattoir where they kill goats. I carried goat for them from the place they killed it to the place they put it inside the car, so that I can get money. And so I saved all those money. Then I went to Ogun State University. So I did my first degree in Agbo University. I did my first degree in accounting. So and studying accounting is because of the fact that I believe at that time I was much younger, and it was what people were saying in motion that was reading. If you study accounting, you become this. If you study accounting, you become this. And more often than not, most of our cousins that come to our house, we always advise you that you must go to school, you must go to school, you must go to school. So, and I look at education as the ultimate antidote for poverty. So, and that is why I tried to pursue that. I eventually went to school. I sponsored myself to the university for my first degree. So I did everything that could so that I can get a degree at that time.
Today, he has 3 master's degrees and 2 PhDs and is currently working on his 3rd PhD. He is a very successful financial manager and a tax consultant. He sits on boards of several companies and runs a very successful financial management and tax consultancy firm, Osifo Samson & Co. He is also a member of a number of professional bodies.
Three masters. Yes. And I'm doing my 3rd PhD too now. Now, the thing is this. When I finished my first degree and I begin to interact with people, as at that time, I've done most of the professional body in accounting. And I realized that most people only have what we call quantitative knowledge of thinking. They don't have qualitative knowledge. Now, my interaction with people had made me to understand that we only think immediate. We don't think the future. And what really changed my normative is this. I begin to ask myself, will I survive as an accountant in this kind of economy? No. A lot of big firms are into accounting. There is no new thing I want to do that has not been done. And don't forget that accounting is all about principle. What the guideline of accounting today is what we call IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard. So you need to report in that platform. You don't need to change. So I look at it, there's no challenges. That's what will give me more qualitative than quantitative. So I need to move forward. So I went to LASU. The first master I had was in LASU. I did MBA in LASU. So I did MBA in finance. And that changed my normative in totality. That finance is more vast. And it's more about qualitative analysis, not quantitative. So that was why I fell in love with finance. So my second master's was in MS. I did MSc Accounting from University of Lagos. And the reason why I did that was that I wanted to complete that syllabus of accounting. Yes. And during my MSc days, I realized that the theory of accounting now made us to understand that accounting was not a university course. It was a course that was brought into university. That was why, even in the 80s, you cannot find any professor of accounting, any PhD of accounting, you cannot find. They have to come outside from outside Nigeria. No university give PhD accounting at that time. It was in 1994, and it was in University of Lagos that gave PhD accounting. So accounting is never a university course. I studied that when I was doing accounting theory in my master's in University of Lagos. So for that time, I begin to understand that is why you see that there's no more qualitative. It's all about quantitative. And quantitative will only give you an average understanding. Quantitative analysis. So from there, I left University of Lagos to go and further study another master's in finance, now in Covenant University. Now I have a master's in finance from Covenant University. Now that changed my normatives in totality. That the real word is that finance gives you an in-depth of quantitative and qualitative analysis. That is why you find out today that most accountants will always want to be a finance minister. Do you see? Because they believe that is the end thing. You get what I'm saying now? Now, but the problem is this: accounting is different from finance. Accounting courses are different from finance courses. So you need to train yourself every time so that you can be updated. When I was doing my first degree accounting, I did not do global accounting. But when I did my MSc accounting, I did global accounting. So if you don't update yourself, you fade away with time. And that is my zeal in life. I am not comfortable where I find myself. You need to give yourself a goal and targets every year and try to pursue that goal and target with your objectives and mission. That this is what I want to get in life. I've not gotten there. This is my target. This is where I'm going now. What will make me to get to this level? So that is why you see me keep reading. I told myself I want to be the best consultant in the world. So how will I do it? I need to train myself. So after doing that, I enrolled to Leeds Beacons University in UK, which it was a 3-year course, and I have a PhD in financial economics. Now, what financial economics is all about is just the allocation of resources. Effectively utilization of allocation of resources means if an organization comes to meet me now to advise them on the financial advisory, I'll just look at their balance sheet and I begin to interpret it. And I begin to tell them if the company is a going concern or not. That is what all financial economics is all about. And I did over almost 2,000 companies for them to award me that PhD. Then again, I also enrolled into a university in Panama to have a PhD in credit management. Now, the reason why I went to Panama is because of the fact that I was into receivership, which I'm still doing to today. So I need an understanding in depth of that. That is where I went for that PhD in credit management. So I was discussing with somebody about a year ago, and he was telling me about something that is new in finance. And I told myself, Samson, wake up, you need to go to school again. So, and I went to enroll again in Covenant University, where presently I'm doing PhD in corporate finance. So, in all that, I've tried to understand the qualitative and the quantitative analysis. So when I put it on the table to advise clients today, it gives me good results. Yes, because I really tell clients, by the time you are giving me history or analysis of what has happened, I've already given you a conclusion to the answer. So qualitative analysis gives what we call policy formulation, policy implementation, and policy evaluation. So if you don't have qualitative analysis, it's very difficult for you to give that solution. What you'll be giving is quantitative. And let me just give you an example. 1 + 1, they say it's true. But my teacher never taught me why it's true. And that is the problem we have. So those graduates you see outside definitely know the meaning, but to implement it is a problem. So why is it true? You should tell me why it's true. So you only know the quantitative, but you never understand the quantitative analysis.
For one who had a challenging life at the formative stage, Dr. Samson Osifo understands the pains and frustrations of living below the poverty line, as he has experienced it firsthand. The need to help those in such situation came to the fore after a very tragic incident happened in the estate he lived. Today, he runs the Osifo Samson Foundation, which was registered in 2018 and has touched the lives of over 100 widows and counting, supported them to start small businesses to sustain them, giving scholarships to indigent members of his community, and extending a helping hand to them when needed.
Now, on my foundation, life job continue, as I've said before. Life journey continue, and I happen to be the president of one of the estates that I live. That was 2012. I happened to be the president of the estate, and I was in the office that fateful day, and I was called upon that a live wire tension killed somebody in the estate. So I dashed home, and I saw a lot of people gathering. So I went there, being the president of the estate at that time, and I asked questions. What happened? And they told me that the man came to cut the grass inside the estate, and he died. And I tried to investigate what really happened. Now they said when the guy was cutting the grass, the high tension fell, and there was no light at that time, so he was still cutting. So immediately they brought the light, he died. Then I investigated, called the woman that gave him the job at that time. Now I realized that the man is just only coming for just 1,000 job. He will be paid 1,000 a day, and he died in that process. So my thought at that time was, has this man offended anybody? Even if you have offended somebody, how can he just die like that? So I told myself that in the economy we find ourselves, we are too wicked to ourselves. And that at least there must be one or two people that are rich in this man's family. No matter how bad this man may be, he should have been also given an helping hand. And I told God that day that if God can bless me more, I will pick all those widows, not only in my area, not only in my tribe, anywhere I find them, I will pick them and make them laugh. And I started that 2014, 5 years ago now. I started that 2014. But what we did at that time, the advice of the foundation came officially last year to register it. Because we would just call some widows, we go and give them, we go to multiple call, we go and give them. From 2014, that's what I've been doing. But last year, my team called me in the office that, why are we doing that? Why don't we form a foundation? Have these people names, call them, give their sons and daughters scholarship, and give every other person. And that thought to me that, I remember a man in my estate that died. I want to go and look for the woman that gave the man the contract that day, so that they can look for the sons and daughter of that man. I want to give the son of that scholarship too. So last year, we were registered as a foundation. So officially we have Osifo Samson Foundation. So I launched it primarily last year. So I look for the son that lives in Cross River. I have to give somebody transport. We're going to bring those, we have 2 boys and 3 girls. So I told the 2 boys that I'm going to give them scholarship. Now this year we have given them money to write JAM. They've passed their WAEC. So we've given them money to write JAM. So one of them have gotten an admission, so the other person is going to write the JAM again next year. So we give other widows too scholarship. On our names, on the widows' name now we have 105. Yes, and last year December we distributed 100 bags of rice for the widows, and at 50 kg. The money is from our firm, and we don't have support from anybody. Now what we try to do is that some of my friends have asked me that they want to support me, and I advise them that you go to your own area and do the same thing. So if we decided to have this like 100 or 200 in Nigeria and in every community, I believe that will reduce poverty. And that is what I've started. This year also, we are going to also distribute rice, about 105 for the widows primarily. For the widows, we have somebody to do 160 bags, aside from the widows, some other people that are not widows that we also want to give to. So, on the 27th of March this year, which was my birthday, we distributed grinding machine and deep freezers for widows. Now, because we tried to interview them and try to ask what is their plight, what do they need at that time. And they told us that if they can have something that they can work with, it's going to also increase them. So we have successfully done that for widows. We have the documentary pictures that we have done for them, and we are still doing this December. So the passion there is this: just try to reduce poverty within our environment. And I'm also trying to introduce this now. We are going to be training, or we are going to be involved in this new year coming, what we call entrepreneurship training, both for widows and for some states. The reason why I said that is that, you see, most people don't know what to do. Most people don't know what to do. What most people are concerned with, the economy is bad, the economy is bad, the economy is bad. The thing is this: for every problem, there is an opportunity for you to make money. For every problem, there is an opportunity for you to make money. But the only thing is this: how do you create that value so that you can be earning money? It now takes people to lecture you in that regard. And those are the things that we'll be doing this year. We'll be taking those we do through, and we'll also be taking other people through their mother street through. So that is the primary reason why the foundation was founded, was to reduce poverty within an environment.
I know I traveled in 2001. I went to Atlanta. It was the one that dropped him off at the airport. That was the last time I saw him. That was the last information I had about him. So I think he came to US last year. For you to know how humble his background was when it was, when he was growing up, he took me to the airport, right? Normally, my parents were supposed to be, nice and kind towards him and give him my phone number whenever he asked for it. They never gave it to him. For you to know, they don't want no association of me with him at all. You understand what I'm saying? So until he came to US, I don't even know how he got my name. I think he Googled my name and my name came up on, and he called the number and he said, bros, is this you? It's Papa. We call him Papa because it's a carbon copy of his dad. So is it, I've been asking for your number from your siblings, your mom, your dad. They didn't give it to me, And I said, I'm in Atlanta. It was in New Jersey, so you had to come to New Jersey. So that's how we started communicating. You know, I was asking what he was doing, but when he was saying it, I wasn't even taking him serious until I came to Nigeria and I saw the gravity of the level he is. So I was like, wow. Then I was telling him one day that, do you know let's say we are about 50 boys that grew up in that street. If they were to ask me any question that, who do you think will be successful? It's not even going to be one out of 49.
I told you before that I learned a lot of things. The first one, to be focused, and then to be trustworthy, and then he wants you to call a spade a spade. I think you understand. You know, I love to be with him all the time. Not to, if you ask him for something, he will do it. Even though he will tell you the way you can make your own way. He's very benevolent, very kind. Even though I can call him a pastor as well. Or what he's doing, if all the other people in Nigeria can follow suit, I'm telling you, the sky is the limit for everybody.
The first thing I noticed was that he was always present. He never missed any of my lectures. And he did all the assignments and performed brilliantly. He was very participative in the class, asking very intelligent questions. But I noticed, even though the way I see him is well-to-do, quite well-to-do, but he's quite humble. We suggest that he must have had a beautiful upbringing. I learned that the father is a retired senior police officer. It means he must have grown up under very serious discipline. So he's quite disciplined and very, very humble. He relates very well, not just with colleagues, but with both superiors and subordinates. Very easygoing, very frank, very cheerful. I also know that he's a philanthropist. He supports the less privileged in the society, the widows, the orphans. He has a lot of packages for these persons, and he's doing very well in those areas.
It's my brother, junior brother to me. Yes, he was born here in Oduduwa in Mushin. Well, he started primary school here and secondary school here. So this place he started with him in life. This is where they are born in, from Mushin, Oduduwa. Because today now, it's not longer live here.
Dr. Samson Osifo is married to his university sweetheart and tells the story of how they met in a peculiar way.
Now, apparently, I just told you that I went to Agowe University. She also went to Agowe, and we are the same set. She did business administration. She was studying business administration at that time, where I was studying accounting. So apparently, you know, the drive that is going to pay my school fees is a problem to me at that time. So I need to put my head on the table. So at that time, I was taking some professional courses. So I was unable to be at the top of the class. So I was teaching my mates tutorials. So I was teaching them tutorials. They were also doing some accounting courses. Why somebody introduced her to me that, see, this person are taking accounting courses, so can you come and take them? So that was how we just met in school.
Samson Osifo's life is a story of grass to grace, laser-like focus, hard work and dedication to his chosen profession, and a story that proves very clearly that where you are coming from does not determine where you are going in life.
The first thing you need to understand is parental care is very important. Now, when we are living in Mushin, my father was extremely disciplined. You dare not come with somebody's property into the house. You dare not do something that was wrong. It will be a hell out of you. Now, if this new generation have lost discipline, today, the son don't even afraid of the father. So, and once the generation is being trained in that regard, the corpse value, the normal value dies in that individual. Because after all, what will daddy say? I'm bringing this money now, we want to eat now. So what will mommy say? I just bought mommy a car yesterday. When we are growing up, you won't see any single parent outside. Those are moral value. The value for any parent, or for any woman at that time, is to marry and stay in your house. But today, women enjoy that. Parents enjoy that because of the merriment that is there. So technically, the moral value is going, and I pray that God will just change the mind of the parent. It's only God. When we were growing up, my younger brother had some other friends too that are into Yahoo. And apparently he first went to Moshood Abiola Polytechnic. He first went there before he go to university. And I drove one day from Ogun State University to go and meet with him. And I sat him down. At that time, I was doing OND. And the friend at that time, we were all buying cars. And I told him a story. I said, there are two people in this world. The man that has the money and the man that has the brain. Have you not sat down in your life and look at those Yahoo boys? When they make the money now, give them a month or two, highest 3 months, highest 1 year, the money goes away. They come back to square one. Because they lack the brain, but they have the money. So you need to train yourself in order for you to escape from poverty. Now, if you have all the money and you lack the skills, you are still empty. So, thank God, after advising him, he followed me and he went to do JAM. He enrolled into Ogun State University. Why, I can tell you, some of the friends that was doing that is the only one that is alive now and is also serving a jail time in Kirikiri. So, primarily, what you are pursuing is just temporary. You won't have rest of mind. You won't be respected anywhere. Nobody will give you a comium because of money. Money that you can sit down and give yourself just 5 years. Train yourself on something. When you lack qualitative understanding, you lack formulation, you lack implementation, and you lack evaluation. Now, such individual will lack those three little things. Ask him, what do you want to become in life? He will tell you. How does he want to achieve it? He doesn't know. So, technically from that day, is dead. So, making money does not give you value. What gives you value is what is in you. When you have knowledge, it's like you having a power that is boiling inside of you. And that power will not be giving you confidence to stand in the presence of people. Because you have that boldness. You will say, if it's this thing, I know it. And that is what will give you money. So, I'm advising the younger generation that I started from Moshi, from a raw background, that miscreants live there. People that are rejected live there. And I also said now that we are not rich at all. I can remember that each time I see chicken, it is December 25. Each time I see chicken, it's December 25. For you to know how raw things were. But I did not carry gun. Neither did my siblings carry anything. That was focus. You must decide what you want to become. That man that gives you confidence will die one day. That woman that is saying that go ahead will die one day. What will become of you as an individual? So you must be able to plan your life now. Once you are getting to 35, 40, okay, if you don't plan your life very well, you are a useless man. you're not going to be living on people. You're not going to be living on people. Those people that did Yahoo yesterday, that have billions, where are they? If you are counting billionaires in Nigeria today, they won't count them because they lack value and moral. If they are counting people that count in the society, you won't be among them because you lack value and moral. But when they are counting people that are successful, I once told people that successful, when you are successful, does not mean that you are a billionaire. Your successfulness is the number of people that you can make happy. And that is my understanding to life. Now, when you destroy others for you to make yourself happy, anything you do now is coming back to you. It's just a matter of time. So if you defraud people today, they will defraud you tomorrow. It's just a matter of time. If you lie to people today, they will lie to you tomorrow. It's just a matter of time. If you gossip about people today, they will gossip about you tomorrow. It's just a matter of time. So you need to change your normatives to life. Ask yourself this question. When my sons and daughter grow up, what will they say about me? If your sons and daughter are not proud about you, technically you are a dead individual. You may not be rich, but your sons and daughters are proud about you. You may not be a popular person, but they are proud about you that my dad have self-esteem and self-actualization. But when you lack all these things, your mom that is encouraging you today will die one day. But remember, everything you are having is just temporary. The life we live is just temporary. But what will people say about you? Have you not noticed the way people cherish Mike Adenuga? Have you not noticed the way people cherish Femi Otedola? Have you not noticed the way people cherish Dangote? It's because of the business they do. And over time, they paid price. Road was not built in a day. You need to take time to build your life. And in building your life, you need to tell yourself that one day, it may be rough from the beginning. People may laugh you now. People may make jest of you now. But I can assure you, if you are straight, they will come back and meet you. It's just a matter of time. I'm not saying that I don't face all my challenges too. I'm just telling you that if you think straight and you believe in yourself, absolutely, things will change for you. Any man that is telling you to go into harm, to go into terrorism, to go into Yahoo, is just temporary. And that will definitely short your life. Remember that you are a son of an individual. Somebody also will be called your son one day. What will that person say about you? That's my advice to the general youth.
It is a story of humility in the midst of plenty and making right choices at every turn. He grew up in Mushi, where his peers are into drugs and crime, nightclubs and easy women, violence and deep anger against the society they live in. But those things that pushed them to all these vices strengthened Dr. Samson Osifo's determination to succeed in life.